I get shit done, I have fun, it's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Business Renovator with Coach Phil. Today we're going to be talking about how to be an effective communicator. We're at risk as high as 75% of the time of miscommunicating with people. Just think what the impact is to you, whether it be business, personal, or otherwise, in engaging and building rapport with people. So we're going to talk about that over the next few minutes. But in the meantime, shameless plug from Focal Point Business Coaching. Yeah, so what I said earlier today is that we're going to talk about how to build rapport and reduce the stress in the communication side of things. So as a business coach, whether it be me or one of my peers around the globe, we specialize in helping you develop your communication skills to enhance your leadership skills, salesmanship, salespersonship, I should say. In today's world, it's more accurate. Actually, my favorite word for selling is sellers. It's non-gender specific. Have you ever had a situation where you've done a great presentation of an idea or a product or a service, only to have the people at the end of it not go ahead, even though you knew it would solve some challenges for them and they'd be better off because of it? Well, this is kind of what we're talking about in terms of the miscommunication that you might be experiencing. So today I'm going to introduce you, if you've not heard of it before, DISC. And if you have heard of it before, I find that one of the best ways to learn is constant spaced repetition. And I learned that from a mentor of mine many decades ago. Leland Val Van de Waal says that change happens by impact. That's a loss of a relationship, finance, job, career, business, or constant space repetition, which is setting goals, being specific, and controlling your self-talk. So today, here's a tip or a trick or a resource, not really a trick. It's based on behavioral sciences. So let me bring it up. So 24/7, assessment by 24/7 is a terrific organization. I've aligned with them because of the resources they have available in terms of assessments. And what we're going to talk about today is DISC. And what does that really mean to you? Well, DISC, as an introduction, an understanding behavior to help you be more effective in your communications with other, building rapport, trust, and respect. A little easier, a little quicker, a little faster. And this is what we're talking about in terms of being more effective in your communication style. The first thing is that we've probably all heard of the golden rule. People generally mistake and assume that everybody wants to talk in the same way and is themselves. So the golden rule is do unto others as you'd like to be done unto. And, in polite society, that's not a bad, terrible thing. However, if you want to influence, motivate, inspire, have people take action, it doesn't work very well because you're speaking to them in the way you'd like to be spoken to. And what we're going to introduce you to is something called the platinum rule. But before I get there, 14 years ago, I've probably known about DISC longer than that, but 14 years ago, I had an experience with a former Olympic athlete from Canada on the ski ski team at the time, and they were called the Crazy Canucks. And I felt this individual, Jungle Jim Hunter, would be a great guy to have as a faculty member in an organization I was involved with. So I was introduced to him. We had a meeting set up, and I didn't show up in the way that he likes to communicate. Matter of fact, he was very fast paced, and he told me without any doubt, because I was talking too slow, too friendly, too much like the golden rule that we're talking about here, and not like the platinum rule, which I'll share here shortly with you. He said, I'm a busy guy. You've got 10 minutes. That's it. So I picked up the pace, changed the way I was interacting with him, and an hour and a half later, I left. And that was by getting into rapport with him. Instead of trying to be the golden rule guy, I turned into the platinum rule guy. What does that mean? Well, the platinum rule is treating others the way they want to be treated. And how we do that is by understanding behavioral sciences. It's pretty simple in that regard. So why DISC? Well, DISC behaviors can be positioned with a systematic, they're predictable, kind of a framework where even though individual personality is unique, because we're looking at behavioral styles, not personality styles. Personality is not the same as behavior. Behavior deals with, pace and openness, as you'll find as we go through this process. Behavioral patterns influence what the person expects from you and others, and how the person communicates those wants, needs, and expectations. And what we want to do is adapt to be in alignment, be in rapport with the individuals we're talking to. So we do that by reducing the tension, we increase collaborating, and the trust in all of those areas and all those relationships is, it happens a lot faster. In a sales training program, we spend a great deal of time dealing on the value and impact of what DISC does for individuals. So what is DISC? DISC is needs motivated, observable behavior and emotion process. It's a combination of your inherent nature and your nurture, which is learned. It is not a measure of intelligence, skill, education, or experience. It does not measure IQ as a value in terms of indicating any sort of values. There are 4 core styles. There is I'm going to start with the dominance, the bright red. That's a director, somebody who, we'll dive into that. There's the influencer, the steadiness, and the conscientious or compliant individuals. So dominance deals with problems and challenges, influences people and contacts. Steadiness is pace and consistency, and procedures and constraints is conscientious. So identifying the 4 styles, what we would get you to do is to look at these kind of areas. Guarded, open. So this be like the temperature of the individual that you're engaging with. Are they warm or are they cold? So are they guarded, being cold? Open is really hot. Anywhere in between is they're warm. So 1 through 4 tells you, gives you an indication as to how open or guarded they are. Or are they somewhere in between? That's one measurement. The other is, are they direct or indirect? And so A through D. So if you look at this for yourself, where are you on the spectrum? 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. This will tell you just really quickly where you're at. And if you're, say you're a dominance type person, direct, you're fast paced, but you hold your cards close to your chest, and you're talking to somebody who's an influencer who is the life of the party, talks about the weather, talks about famous people. Maybe there was some football that just happened this weekend. Maybe they're engaged with that, and they know somebody on the team, and they want to share that with you. The dominant person may not be so open to participate in that kind of dialogue. So what do? Well, let's look at this. DISC examines observable behavior, which is what I mentioned before, and it's driven by our needs and fears. Each style has specific indicators, and here's a sample of what they are. Needs, emotions, fears, and if you look at each category, each one of DISC, each one of them has some driving forces. Now, this is just a scratching of the surface of the different styles, but here you can see problems, challenges under the D would be challenges to solve, authority, anger, impatient, being taken advantage of, and lack of control are some of the things that they fear. Do you know anybody like that? Let's go to the other side of the spectrum, which is the C. Their procedures and constraints, rules to follow, data to analyze, fear and concern is their top emotions, and being criticized or loss of accuracy and quality. These people are really good at getting stuff done accurately. If you want it done in a hurry, if they're 100% this style, probably not the best. You need a combination. And by the way, all of us are a combination of all four of these. It's just what's our dominant behavioral preferences. And in between there, the I and the S, they're people-centric, and the D and the C are task-oriented. So if you see here, social relationships, for the I, people, contacts, friendly environment, optimism, trust. They trust easy. That's one of their downfalls because they sometimes get hurt by trusting too quickly, and their fears of being left out, loss of social approval. They really like to be liked by everybody. Now, that's not a real reality because not everybody likes everybody, but that's one of their hot buttons. And the S is pace and consistency. These individuals like to make sure that anything that's happened is good for everybody. They like harmony in their relationship. They're patient and non-expression. They hold their cards close to their chest as well, but they're very people-centric versus task-oriented, like the D, who also holds their cards close to them as a precaution. And the S's don't like sudden changes. Matter of fact, if you upset an S, you won't even know that you've upset them. They won't even tell you. So I'm not trying to teach the whole course of understanding it. I've been studying it for well over 14 years, and I don't have it perfected, but I'm getting better and better at it all the time. So adaptability is one of the magical things that helps build the rapport and gets trust happening. And high adaptability people determine what types of behavior are most appropriate in specific situations. So adaptability on the left-hand side is important to all successful relationships, and no one style is naturally more adaptable than another. It's developing your adaptability muscle, you might say, and being aware of the different flavors of the styles and noticing whether they're open, guarded, how open or guarded, and then are they fast or slow? How fast or slow are they? Those are just some really great clues. So a DISC report identifies, part one, what different styles there are. Then it identifies your style, and you have a natural, which is on the right-hand side, and your adapted style, which is on the left-hand side of this bar graph. And as you can see in this example here, there's quite a change from the natural to the adapted in this example. They're not all like this. None of them are exactly, well, I shouldn't say none of them, but rarely are they all exactly the same. There are some variances. And depending on how your energy is, are you healthy? Are you tired? Are you going through some stressful things? That will alter your openness and your warmth measurement as well. And last but not least, this is probably, in my opinion, one of the most beneficial aspects of understanding DISC communications and observable communications is that when we recognize what the style of the other individuals are, we can show up in a way that matches them. Not to be manipulative, but to build rapport and gain trust quicker. And when you're able to do that, you're able to lead people with less stress in your life and in theirs. Wouldn't that be fantastic? So anyway, that's it for the assessment introduction on how to increase your effectiveness as a communicator. There's a variety of different products out there or companies that provide them. My favorite one is Assessments 24, so I'm aligned with them. If you ever wanted to have an assessment done, certainly can help make that happen, and it would pay dividends. I've had over the years, one particular one was a veterinarian, and introducing this to him, and he saw how it had an impact on him in dealing with his clients, that we worked with his team. And as a result of that, they started communicating to their patients in a way that their patients wanted to be communicated to, and they were able to increase their effectiveness as a company by 30%. So they were out of alignment. I don't think they were at 75%. But they increased their effectiveness in their communications, and it showed up in the bottom line in a positive way. So if you would like to reduce stress in your life, in your business, and build rapport quicker, make sales presentations, diagnostic processes quicker and easier and more effective in a shorter period of time, this is one way to do it. On that note, one of the things I'd like to remind you of is, well, here, I'm going to show you something here. It's covered my face up, but this is something that if you like a copy of this, I've got an extra one or two, can send you the image. And what this is identifying is the direct and indirect approach that I was talking about earlier, and open or guarded. You could use this as a reminder on your at your office or at your home, and how you're communicating with other people. Are you building that rapport and developing the trust? And this is just a graphical image to remind you to align with their temperature and their pace. And the other thing is you can look at this wonderful. The you represents you. What we want you to do is go out and be wonderful, because you are uniquely wonderful. So go out and act like it. That's it for us today on the Business Renovator. If you ever have a question for your business and you want to ask a business coach, by all means, reach out to us. The information on how to get hold of me is on the outro. So we'll just say goodbye for now, and have a wonderful rest of the week.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.